Are you tired of romance novels with heroines that are sickeningly talented, terribly beautiful, loved by all, and entirely unrealistic? If you are, have I got the book for you. I have an interesting relationship with Georgette Heyer's A Civil Contract. I enjoy it, but it isn't always the easiest thing to read. For one thing, the romance, if it can be called that, between the two leads feels more, realistic when compared to other, more stormy and passionate love stories. It's the realism that makes this book special, and it's the realism that makes this book so darn bittersweet. Some readers love it, others loathe it. Let's hash it out and find out what you think. I'm Ness Kingsley, and this is Of Words and Books.
Warning, bookworms can and will mispronounce words.
Adam Deverill, the new Viscount Linton, returns from the Peninsular War. His father's death has revealed a mountain of debt and has left Adam to provide for his mother and sisters. Adam's in love with a Miss Julia Oversley. They are practically engaged and in love with each other, but it's interesting to note that everyone, except for Adam and Julia, believes that Julia wouldn't suit Adam. But that doesn't matter anymore because marriage between the love-struck couple is out of the question. Adam is practically penniless and is even faced with selling off the beloved family country home of Fontley. What's to be done? Why, what normal, sensible people do, of course. Adam enters into a marriage of convenience with one wealthy heiress, Jenny Chowley, who is the true heroine of the novel. Jenny and Julia have been sort of friends, and Jenny has met Adam in the past, only Adam has never really noticed her. He's been too taken up with Julia. Now, to quote from the book, Jenny is as unlike Miss Oversley as she could be. There was no brilliance in her eyes, no allure in her smile, no music in her flat-toned voice, and not the smallest suggestion of the ethereal either in her person or in her bearing. Where Julia seemed to float, she trod with a firm, brisk step. Where Julia could be enchantingly arch, she was invariably matter-of-fact. She enjoyed a joke, but did not always perceive that one had been made, and she looked as though she had more sense than sensibility. Jenny isn't pretty or remotely beautiful, and yet she's the kind of heroine that your poor heart aches over. In fact, the proposal itself is not the kind that any woman would like to receive. Jenny later says to Julia that, "He didn't choose between me and you, Julia, it was between me and ruin." This is from the scene of Adam's proposal to Jenny. "Miss Chowley, if you feel that you could bear it, I shall count myself fortunate. I won't offer you false coin. To make the sort of protestations natural to this occasion would be to insult you, but you may believe me sincere when I say that if you do me the honour to marry you, I shall try to make you happy." She got up. "I shall be. Don't think of that. I don't wish you to try to, only to be comfortable. I hope I can make you so. I'll do my best. And you'll tell me what you wish me to do, or if I do something you don't like, won't you?" He was surprised and a little touched, but he said as he took her hand, "Yes, indeed, whenever I'm out of temper or grow tired of being comfortable." As the story progresses, Adam begins to see Jenny's character is her strength, and Julia is revealed to be not quite the creature of perfection that Adam believes her to be. Jenny, being quite shrewd, says of her, "It has always seemed to me that she's one of those who die of the influenza only because she took it into her head it was smallpox." Julia is dramatic and wants, no needs, to be loved. And the further you get in the story, the clearer it becomes that yes, Julia would not have suited Adam as a wife. She wants pampering and attention and really wouldn't be the right wife for an ex-soldier turned farmer who is more interested in his crops than parties in London. For me, parts of this book aren't easy to read. Jenny gets put through the ringer. She's obviously in love with Adam, but Adam really isn't in love with her. He's too caught up in his anguished pain over his lost love, or at least he is when she's around and he remembers her. With determination, Jenny sets about making Adam as comfortable as possible, and there are several rather touching domestic scenes between them. They share inside jokes, which are rather hilarious, and have their first child together, and Adam slowly begins to truly appreciate and love his wife. Georgette Heyer wrote that this book would be neither farcical nor adventurous, and it isn't. It is bittersweet, and though you grow to love Adam, who really is an overall decent bloke, you can't help but sympathise with Jenny and wish that time brings her Adam's complete love. I'll let Georgette Heyer have the final say. He, Adam, gave a shout of laughter, and the pain in her heart was eased. After all, life was not made up of moments of exaltation, but of quite ordinary, everyday things. The vision of the shimmering, inaccessible peaks vanished. Jenny remembered 2 pieces of domestic news and told Adam about them. They were not very romantic, but they were really much more important than grand passions or blighted loves. Giles Jonathan had cut his first tooth, and Adam's best cow had given birth to a fine heifer calf. I would recommend reading A Civil Contract for 3 reasons, the first being quite shallow maybe. Number 1, the heroine isn't beautiful. She doesn't make the hero lose his breath because of the sheer wonder of her perfect features. Number 2, the romance is more mature. You know that when you leave those characters, they will have a content life together. And number 3, because if you do read it, you can tell me how to pronounce Jenny's maiden name. Is it Chowley? Shawley? I just don't know. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.